Welcome to Photoshop Practicum. I'm Stephen Hustedde. I'm excited to be a facilitator and guide in learning this wonderful product of Adobe Photoshop. I've been a college professor for 33 years, mostly at South Mountain Community College in Phoenix, Arizona. And these days I focus more on computer programming and mobile app development than I do web graphics, but I use Photoshop every week. When you think about software development and developing apps for iOS and Android phones and tablets, it's very visual. And so manipulating graphics and creating bitmap graphics is essential in developing software. And Adobe Photoshop is the industry standard in doing that. I began using Photoshop in the early 1990s with version 2.5, and I remember well in 1994 when version 3.0 came out and they introduced layers. I did not like layers. But funny enough, layers are a major part of what I view as important in Photoshop. In fact, there's three things I think you need to be able to master to be good at Photoshop. You need to be able to make adjustments, select objects and artifacts, and work with layers. And those three things go hand in hand. But if you can master those three things, Photoshop is wide open to your use. So here we are in 2023, and our current version is 24.4. And I don't think I've ever missed a beat going from version 2.5 to our current version of 24.4. Adobe Photoshop has been a mainstay in my toolbox over all those years. And so I'm very confident that I can help you learn Adobe Photoshop. It's overwhelming when you look at the product because there's lots of tools, many options, tons of techniques and best practices, but I am confident I can lead you into not only learning Photoshop, but also putting you on the pathway of becoming proficient and effective. It will take lots of practice on your part. Becoming really good at Photoshop is not something that's done quickly. It really is a lifelong study. As I said, I've been using this for well over 30 years. I'm calling this series Photoshop Practicum. Merriam-Webster defines practicum as a course of study designed especially for the preparation of teachers and clinicians that involves the supervised practical application of previously studied theory. In this video series, I hope to give you hands-on training. The only way you're going to really master Photoshop is to engage in practice. So I'm going to give you lots of different opportunities to do that. I like to think of this as an apprenticeship model. I'm going to demonstrate a lot of stuff with you looking over my shoulder. And I'm going to encourage you as you do that and watch these videos, pause the video and do the same steps. Research shows that just by watching, you won't remember much, but by doing the hands-on stuff, you'll remember a lot more. As an instructor, I like to focus on learning. Student learning. It's not about me teaching you. It's not about you jumping through a bunch of hoops to be assessed. But I want you to focus on the learning and making this part of who you are. That will serve you the rest of your life. I really don't care how my students learn. I just want them to learn. So you might find benefit in doing additional exploration in YouTube, Google, so forth. But lots of practice is going to be probably the best way that you're going to learn. So take the principles I show you and then do your own thing with them as well. Don't just limit yourself to the exercises that I will provide. I hope to provide professional skills for you in using Photoshop, and this can in fact prepare you to pass an industry certification exam. So yes, this course will be a lot of work, but I think you're also going to find it to be fun and magical. And I say magic because this product and things it can do is almost like performing magic. Now, one caveat, we're working with Adobe Photoshop. There are two other products out there, Photoshop Elements and Photoshop Express, which is an online product. Those two products do not have the capabilities of Adobe Photoshop. So what I'm going to be showing you is Adobe Photoshop, and the processes that I'll walk you through will not work in those other two products. Make sure you have Adobe Photoshop available to you. In the next video, I'll talk about what you can do with Photoshop. If you'd like to see more videos in the Photoshop Practicum playlist, click the title at the bottom. If you'd like to be alerted to new videos, please click my photo in the top right to subscribe to the channel.